Another spontaneous and random insight from the studio by the artist. Following up, hey, two videos really close together. Actually, the last one, I had it sitting there for about a week or more, 8 days, trying to figure out and putting annotations on it and stuff, whatever. I thought I'd follow up, and I think I have to follow up on the last video because I made a point that I kind of let go. I actually had thought about this quite a bit, and it was the idea of hurt and suffering being the blueprint for destruction, which is what I said. Our hearts are being broken. How are people's hearts broken? Because they're feeling the hurt, they're suffering. And at a certain point, you say, hey, I can't take this shit anymore. And you say, shut her down, and bingo, we're gone. So the idea of health and feeling well, and Lonnie, I think you should really do your Breaking Hearts video. You commented that, you said you were thinking about it. Yeah, well, of course, you're thinking about it because you're clued into what the hell is going on here. And we're being destroyed. It's a physical destruction, but it originates in a litany and history of hurt and suffering, which has formed what I call our culture of death. It is also considered to be civilization. The hurt that we experience is basically a record of hurt is civilization. The history of civilization is a record of hurt and suffering. And I wanted to follow up on this because I mentioned the idea, and I want to also, before I say that, I want to say Donald Trump is going to win in a landslide. I'm going to go on a limb. Is it a limb? I don't think so. This guy's going to win in a landslide. Donald Trump is going to wipe the floor with Clinton. And they're all coming out and saying, oh, Clinton is like, oh, fucking A, she's like way ahead. Oh, Trump is making a little. This guy is saying all the right things to the people that understand in their own lives the hurt and the suffering. People are saying they're going to elect this guy because they're saying we don't want to die from broken hearts anymore, which is why he's going to win. Hillary says, elect me and I'll make sure you die of a broken heart and you don't have to continue your existence. You can just sort of go away because I will make sure your hearts will break. That's the Clinton routine. And Trump, do I believe him? No. But he's saying all the right things for people that understand that our hearts are being broken. Maybe they don't formulate it the way I might in a video, but their hearts are being broken and they understand this. So Donald Trump in a landslide. I'm going to say he's going to win big time. He's going to win. He's going to win. And this is a follow-up and a comment on the idea that this blueprint that has been established, the blueprint that actually is leading us off the cliff is based on the fact that we somewhere in our makeup, which is contrary, and I am big on contrary, on non-conformity, it's contrary to our existence. People say that, oh, suffering and hurt is part of experiencing. No, it's not. Hurt and suffering does not complete our experience and make us smart and wise. Bullshit. It doesn't. It happens. Yes, it happens. And if you can extract some value out of the pain and suffering that happens on whatever level, whether it's huge in terms of people being incarcerated and tortured and murdered and all that kind of stuff, or they survive near-death experiences, this is not something that makes us better people. If that were true, that it would add to the quality of our perfection, of our human perfection, that suffering and hurt would actually teach us something and we would become wise, we would be bloody enlightened. And it doesn't work that way because we're not enlightened. We're willing to jump off the cliff. And my follow-up, just a brief follow-up, I said that this blueprint of hurt and suffering is obscured by narcissism. And I think this is important. I felt this, I mean, in terms of my own life. I make these comments based on everything that I've experienced that makes sense to me, which motivates me to make the work. As a contrarian, I do not like being a conformist. I really resent and resist anything around me that smacks of conformity, and I try to get rid of it in my own life, in my own behavior, in my own attitudes. Whether it would be in terms of, you know, the lifestyles that we lead, how we acquiesce to the peer pressures or what is around us to try and resist that, is basically what makes me function. The best part of me functions on being contrarian and not going along. And sometimes I'm wrong. I make judgments on different people that may be wrong, but I think I got it right. I got it right on this culture of death and our pop heroes and all these people that don't open their pie holes because they're not interested in having anyone, or let me say this way, they know that their own narcissism will be curtailed. Their own experience as narcissists will be severely curtailed if they open their pie holes about anything. So I just wanted to follow up on this notion. Number one, Trump in a landslide. That's what I think. And number two, the idea that the narcissism is actually that which covers, which pretends, which denies, which obscures the fact that we're in pain, that we hurt. And what I would consider to be the enlightened human being is the human being that has obviously empathy for all life, creatures, people, anything that is alive. You have a connection to that through empathy, and our actions are based on that empathy and the desire to care for everything that is around us, to protect and preserve that which is around us. So it's important that the qualities that are rewarded in our culture of death in the age of fission are the worst qualities in a human being. The people that are held up as being valuable to you and me are not valuable because they are rewarded for denying, for basically denying or ignoring. They're the ones causing our suffering on some level or other, which lead our hearts to break. And I don't know if this makes sense. I just wanted to follow up on this because I mentioned that hurt and suffering is now a blueprint and has been for 6,000 years of recorded history. And do we escape this cycle? Do we escape this cycle now in a revolution of the heart, of some kind of a recognition that, and a recognition of this fact also means, from the way I look at this, all the spouters, all the people coming out with valuable information. It is not a prerequisite for our becoming better people to have information, facts, even wisdom. The swamis, the gurus, shove it all over the edge. It makes no difference. All the swamis and gurus and the people with all the latest facts and all that shit, forget it all. It doesn't make any difference. It never has, it never will. It never will. Don't look at all the information that is coming at you. It never will make a difference in anyone's life, other than giving us a basis of making certain changes in our life. But the fundamental change that has to happen is that we begin to come in on the side of life through our heart, through our caring. And if hearts are being broken, they're the last people that are actually going to make any difference. All the people that are dying of heartbreak are giving up. They're all giving up. People are giving up en masse, giving up. People are giving up, and we see it in the heartbreak. And when the heartbreak is, even when we get over the heartbreak, the cancers are a close second to all of it, and that is, I have not understood this. I have to admit, I have not understood this reality from the point of view how I can change my reality through purely thinking in this way. I need to act. I'm still a person of the physical world. I need to act this. I can't just sort of sit back and aum myself into another dimension. I haven't figured that out. If anybody has, I'd love to know how to do that, because as long as we're part of this experience, I think it requires us to act and act on our conscience, to do the right thing. Just to follow up.